I wanted to share actually some of the things that helped me get through chemotherapy. Very important to share that. I think exercise was a huge one. There's a lot of research that suggests that exercise of any form does help you with, treatment related side effects, but also the generation of new cells or something like that, and muscle synthesis affect helping your cells grow. And I don't know the full science behind it. I'm not a scientist. Just based on research paper I read, which I can happily quote and provide the links to. But exercise was a big part that helped, and it just from experience, it's helped a lot of other people as well. Hydration, as hard as it is, you've just got to find liquids to chug and find a way to get those liquids in. It's hard because your mouth changes, the taste, everything tastes bitter. You've got a weird metallic taste for a while. It's hard. I'll admit that it was hard. I did cordials, flavored water where I could. Obviously, high in calories. Water is probably the best part, but hydration was the key, I think. Especially before your infusions. So my first day, I would probably try to aim for about 2-3 liters in the morning of liquid. And I found that it did lessen the impact of treatment over time as well. And it helped flush it out quite quickly. But there's no evidence to suggest that drinking a lot of water will flush out the chemo a lot quicker. Does it get the body out of does it get the drugs out of your system? Yes. Does it get it out of it quicker? I don't know the answers to that. So a lot of people will say drinking more water means you will get the chemo out of, which means lessen the impact of chemo. No. I don't think that's true. In saying that, hydration will help you deal with a lot of different things. So that I'm not going to preach here and say have a good diet. My diet was absolutely terrible. Sorry, itchy nose. My diet was absolutely terrible. I'll admit that. Put on weight, but that was because I was on heavy doses of steroids as well, which causes significant hunger. You're just eating all day. I mean, where you could try to prioritize whole foods, that helps. I was eating a lot more fruits and veggies, I will say that, but then I would have moments where I would have a good, nice El Jano meal. Sourcing your food a lot, spicy foods avoid if you can, causes stomach discomfort. I learned that the hard way. That was diet, but I think the hospitals can provide dietitians and that sort of stuff as well. I probably should have seen one, but in saying that, got through it, so that doesn't matter. Journaling and writing down your thoughts each day, big part that helped getting through the mental side of treatment. And journaling isn't, do your diary, blah, 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 blah. You need to get all poetic and philosophical like you're Shakespeare. No, it's just being aware of your body is a big one. I think what helped me was finding the patterns in what I was going through. So I knew that days 1, 2, and 3 of my infusions, I would feel nauseated. How do I deal with my nausea? I would eat ginger food, try to incorporate ginger, anti-nausea pills as well. But then you also get constipation from it as well. How do you deal with that? Well, you want to prioritize foods that are high in fiber. Again, hydration helps with that. But just journaling what you're feeling on a day-to-day basis helps find that pattern, and it makes it easier to deal with it as the rounds go on. I found, I should say. Support network talking helps as well, but just depends on, if you have that availability, if you need to go see a therapist or whatever it is, use that. It helps a lot, I think. I had relatively good sleep during my treatment, but I know a lot of people don't as well. So wherever you can find the rest, give your body rest. Your body only heals is when you give it rest. Like when you're sleeping, that's when your body's healing. When you're chilling out a little bit, that's when your body's healing. But exercise is also healing your body. So it's finding the right balance between the two, but give yourself a lot more rest. I was grateful. I was privileged, I would say, that I was still able to work from home at that arrangement. A lot of people don't have that as well, so I can completely understand that. But I think just doing small puzzles or just keeping your brain occupied, giving yourself a bit of a purpose, I would say, will really help drive that forward. It makes time go quicker. It keeps your social life a little bit active. But if you want to pick up a new hobby, whatever it is, give yourself a purpose, give yourself a bit of a routine, something that you can just do on a day-to-day basis that just, okay, between 9 and 12, I'll probably read a book. And then between 12 and 1, I'll have lunch. And then 1 to 3, I'll sleep. 3 to 5, I'll watch Netflix, whatever it is. If you have kids, different case. So this. Why did I laugh like that? Fuck. I'll edit that out. But I think for kids, it's different for people. But I think just finding a routine that helps. Those are the main things. I think just being in touch with just knowing what's going on in your body. Like, you get a fever, you don't feel right, something doesn't feel right. Speak to your care team. Very important. And raise these things with your nurses and clinical nurses and doctors as well. You know what you're feeling. Everyone goes through different types of things. So, if you have tingly fingers, tell them you have tingly fingers. If you feel like you can't breathe, tell them you can't breathe. If you don't see improvements in yourself a few days after treatment, get it checked, because, you might, like, let's say you have a 3-week cycle, like the first week you might feel absolute trash, to the last 2 weeks you might feel okay. So, but if you don't see that, that's your body telling you something and you should get it checked. But also another point I want to make is self-advocating for yourself. I'm not going to say don't be too trusting of doctors. Like, they do an incredible job, the team, but just know what you're going through yourself. Like, just understand what your treatment is, why you're going through this treatment, how do these chemo drugs sort of work in your body. It's overwhelming. And look, people deal with it differently. So I'm not going to sit here and preach that, you should go and read all these research papers on chemo, but just understand, if you're going through different chemo drugs, what effects those chemo drugs have. Like bleomycin, for example, known to cause lung toxicity. Doxorubicin, known to cause cardiotoxicity. Vincristine, known to cause neuropathy in your fingertips. Those are the main call-outs. Cyclophosphamide, I had very sinus issues from it. Like, my nose would go super cold and I have a headache from it. It make me feel very drowsy. Decarb ETOP, not too much of an effect. It affects other parts of your body, but yeah, like, you need to be aware of that a little bit. If it means you have to sit there and do a bit of research and you have the mental capacity and the emotional to do it. If you don't, that's also okay. I'm not saying you absolutely have to, but just know what you're going to expect. And I think know the side effects that you're going to go through, and just come to terms with it a little bit, and just understand that you're going to go through it. But try to find ways around it if you can. But it's very hard when it hits you hard. So I think those would be my tips. If I was to really summarize what helped me get through chemo, I think those are the main pillars for sure.
Yeah, that's really good advice. I think that would be very helpful for people that are obviously going through it, or and I think like, even people that aren't really going through it or have something going on, like the thing that you talked about was like tracking or journaling what your body is going through. And I think I should actually start doing that, because it made me think, like, when you have neck pain or whatever pain, like, you should start to like write it down and actually start to try things out, like, yourself. Like, maybe it's just like, need to do some sort of like watch some videos online of how to train my neck, strengthen it.
And
then if stretch or something, try it, see how it goes for a week. Use the scientific method. Maybe it's just neck pain.
Yeah,
that's my hypothesis. Why? Don't know what the causes are. Probably because of like how I sat on the chair. It's just like, what can I do about it? Okay, maybe go. Let me go research, find out what exercise I can do to improve it. And it's like, if it doesn't work, then maybe go see a doctor.
Yeah.
And I think that point that you made about journaling, that is such a good point. And I'm just actually thinking about doing that like now, because I'm just like, that's a pretty good point, because it's like when I go to the doctor, and if it's really that bad, then they're gonna ask me like, when did this happen? How did this happen? What did you do? It will save them so much. It will save me so much more meetings and save them time, because I've already gotten all this like noted down. I've tried like so many hundreds of things.
Yeah. Yeah, I fully agree. I think it comes back to that self-advocating bit, and your body will always try to tell you something is wrong with you. Like, I had a chronic cough, itchy skin, shoulder pain a little bit, neck area. That was my body telling me something is not right. Like, something is not right in your body. And as guys, as men, we tend to ignore that. We tend to go, it's just a cough. Oh, it's just a little bit of itchy skin. It's fine. Oh, it's just a bit of shoulder pain. I pulled it at the gym. Those were the excuses I was making, for myself. And it's nothing. There's nothing wrong with doing that either. Like, as in, you don't want to be told that you have something very serious going on in your body and you have to go through very intensive treatment. No one wants to do that, right? There's a fear of anxiety. There's a bit of denial there. There's also not wanting to confront those things, and that's perfectly okay. Like, I'm first to say that, but you'll save yourself a lot of time, trouble, and give yourself a chance to live a better life if you address those things. And you need to recognize patterns in your pain, in what your body's trying to tell you. Like, I'm just speaking from a lymphoma perspective, but I had a cough for like 6 months. That was my body trying to tell me something. I ignored it until the very end. People that might have some bowel issues, or they might feel pain in certain areas, and it's consistent pain. It's not going away. You've done some, like you said, you've done some stretches, you've gone to the gym, you're trying to like stretch your waist, your hip muscles, reflexes, get more flexibility. Still doesn't work. You should then go get that checked, for example, right? Like, journaling and finding patterns is very important in what your body's trying to tell you, because your body is actually it's very complex but very simple. If something's wrong, it will tell you something's wrong. You have a runny nose. Why do you have a runny nose? Well, there's 2 reasons: allergies, or it's a virus. If you have a virus, it's because you might have what sort of virus is it? Influenza A, B, pneumonia. What color is your snot? Is it red? Is it yellow? Is it green? Is it clear? Those things will tell you straight away. For example, your body's trying to tell you something. You vomit, nausea. Why? Your body is recognizing there's something in your body that shouldn't be there. It's a reactive system, I think, something along those lines. I'm not even using the right medical term. But coughing, same thing. You're trying to get things out of your body. When you sweat, on like incredible amounts of sweating, if you have a fever, if you have pain, consistent pain in one area, why do you have that pain? Like, there's so many things your body will tell you, and you have to take that seriously. Like, you have to if you want to give yourself the best chance of survival and give yourself, a chance of good treatment, etc., you need to listen to those things.
Think as well, it's like quite incredible when you think about it, like how our body gives us like not just the physical signals, but also like gut as well, warning you from something. Maybe it's just like ancestral or something. Like, a lot of the time where we probably made decisions, and most of the time like the gut was the most reliable, or probably in hindsight the most correct. So it's interesting how like the body's always trying to give you warnings ahead of time, or that there's something serious going on that you should pay attention to it. And it's actually incredible how we like the action of me moving my hand, I don't have to think, I don't have to do billions of computations telling like the electron in my head, or like not the electron, like electrical impulses in my brain signaling to the right areas of my hand to move this. It's happening like subconsciously. And I think it's just incredible how, even though there's so many things that might be going wrong, we're still able to still go about our day without until it comes to a point where we can't. But it's just like the body is really like powerful when you put into that perspective of how it's like when you have a system software, if something, it depends on how it's coded, but a lot of the time, if something goes wrong, then other downstream services are impacted by it. Whereas in the body, it's just like if something does go wrong, it still is functioning, but it takes a long period of time to the point that it just can't anymore. But there's so many symptoms and warnings that happened prior to it that would have, led to that outcome. So yeah, very important to definitely listen to the body. And I think even beyond just like the physical ones where it's like skin and everything, even like the thing where you're talking about patterns, like even the emotional trauma or responses that you have to certain conditions or triggers, like I don't know if it's relationships or something else, that's also very important to like take note of and also like break down where that comes from and why that's happening and how you can deal with that a lot better. So yeah, it gives you coverage that way.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought up the mental side of it as well, because there's a lot of patterns you do recognize from a mental perspective. A lot of people have different traumas, different triggers, and it's why I have those triggers. I can't even look at liquid red without starting to feeling nauseated and feel like I'm going to vomit.
Do you feel like you're going to faint as well, or
no? Just feel like I'm going to vomit, because as soon as they start infusing you with that, you're just talking about it is making me feel a bit. I'll make sure very quickly. Like just as soon as they start infusing you with it, you feel it in your stomach.
Okay,
yeah. So it's a strange thing, your brain. Like it's so adaptable, and it's like your mind knows everything about you. And it shows up at the wrong times as well. I think David Goggins says it as well. Like it's the only thing in this world that knows all your insecurities, weaknesses, strengths, knows you inside out, and it'll show up at the time where it'll show up at the worst time and just make you feel worthless, or make you feel like you don't want to do something. Like waking up at 5 o'clock, what stops you? Not your physical, it's your brain, it's your mind that comes in out of nowhere. It's like, no, choose the snooze, choose the comfort.